Hey. Okay. I probably should have cleaned. I got piles of stuff sitting down and laundry to put away. We got a red dot. Welcome back to Akron's hottest and fastest growing show, 3 to go. I'm your host, Hank Forrester, coming to you live from 3 to go headquarters. And there's been a lot going on right now in the last 48 hours. So let's go ahead and discuss it. Let's talk it out. First of all, I want to talk about us and our story, just to kind of paint the picture of who we are and where we fit into this equation, because I want to make sure that we're being very clear in terms of the way that we communicate. We are a local. We don't even know what we are yet. We're kind of a news organization. Honestly, we would prefer to not cover breaking news and not cover bad stories around Akron and Canton. We would prefer to cover sports and food and do fun podcasts and festivals and what we normally do. But every once in a while, we are a news source. And every once in a while, we're a breaking news source. And it's interesting because of our social media presence, we have a tendency to be able to report on things a lot faster than the normal news would be able to do. So that's kind of the direction that we're going. We're trying to figure ourselves out. So that's kind of who we are. I have my talking points here. All right. So let's talk this through. That's who we are. We have a sense of humor here. We cover things and we have a tendency to be edgy at times. We try to keep it relatively clean, PG-ish, but some of our shows do have bad words. And if it's a bad word show, I'll let you guys know that there's going to be bad words, and I'll usually say something like viewer discretion is advised. So that kind of frames who we are. I like to consider us a representative of common citizens in Akron and Canton, but we do it in a media fashion, and we put it together in a package that we present to you. Okay. 2 weeks ago, there was a post we put up, and this is where like we realized, okay, we've got to change the direction of who we are. This was right before Christmas. By the way, if you're all got the crud like I do, this temperature changes isn't helping. I know I get lectures all the time that it's because of viruses and not because of the temperature changes. But if you got allergies, the temperature changes don't help. But happy Friday. Have a drink, relax. It's been a long week. If you're sober, have some ginger ale. All right. So about 2 weeks ago, right before Christmas, I put a post up, and it was a funny meme about being a mom and being a dad. And the mom was like, had a stroller, and the dad had a stroller, and the stroller with the dad, the groceries were all piled on the kid, and it was funny. And to me, because we have our sense of humor here, and it was, hey, all you last minute shoppers, good luck out there, or whatever it was. And we got torn to pieces, like immediately, and like aggressively. And it was like, okay, well, I guess we can't do things the way that we have always done them. We have to start taking ourselves more seriously. Okay. So to that end, we are a media organization, but we're not necessarily accountable the same way a normal media organization would be, because we also have an entertainment aspect to us. But at the same time, the last thing that we want to do is provide, I guess the word would be fake news or like panic news. There's been several stories that we've covered over the last year that were literally breaking news stories. One was the shooting that was over by Firestone, and the second was the big fire that took place by King Elementary. So in that capacity, we're providing news as a news organization would, but it's from our viewpoint, and we try and do it in what's the right word I'm looking for? Middle of the road, without opinion, this is what's happening. All right. So whenever we're doing those stories, that's what we do. Dude, Scott, no, it's a marker. So to that standpoint, we're not publicly owned. We're privately owned. So really the only people that hold us accountable is you guys, the users, the viewers. So we take a lot of pride in putting out a good product, and we want to make sure that we try to stay neutral. Thank you, Noreen. And we don't want to offend people. We try not to. And our goal is to provide you information for Akron, Canton, sometimes Youngstown, non-biased. That's a good word. Thank you, Scott. So last night I want to go over, there was a number of things that have happened in the last 24 hours that were rather remarkable in the city of Akron. And I want to discuss those with you guys. So please feel free to list your comments in the comment area, and I'll respond to those. We're going to start with number one, and that was last night's Amber Alert. Okay? Last night's Amber Alert. So Scott says we don't care. Just give us Josh McDaniels update. Okay, and we would much rather prefer doing sports. Trust me, Scott. Last night's Amber Alert took place at about 1 a.m. I have been monitoring all the other stuff that had been going on in the area because, just so you guys know, I mean, I've been very upfront and open with this. We always have a tendency to favor West Akron. I live in West Akron. We are based in West Akron. Our studio is at Acme number 1 in West Akron. We cover all the events of Hardesty Park, which is a pitching wedge from my backyard. So literally, we have a strong focus on West Akron. So when the West Akron story broke last night, I was up. I was monitoring all communications on Facebook, on Next Door Neighbor, and all these. By the way, you Next Door Neighbor. Woo! Anyway, point being, we were monitoring stuff. So I stayed up. Okay. So it's like 1 o'clock in the morning. We get an Amber Alert. It's from Cleveland. And I got what, 3 phones that are ours, and then the girls have their phones. 5 phones in my house went off at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you know the noise. It's that awful alert buzz. And I'm running around the house, and I'm turning all these off. And as I'm doing it, I'm not mad, but I'm like, why this? Why are we getting a Cleveland alert at 1 o'clock in the morning? So I went on 3 Thread ago and I posted a stupid ass post, and it said something to the effect of, hey, can we move these at like 9 or 10 p.m. because 1 in the morning doesn't seem effective to me because the kid had already been missing all day. And immediately I got just lambasted. So it wasn't necessarily in good taste, and it wasn't me like trying to make a joke, but it was, hey, we're getting this Amber Alert right now. Why? What do we do with it? Okay. So I went ahead and I posted it up. I took the other one down, and then we got reported. So like 5 or 6 viewers last night reported 3 Thread ago, and it's the first time in our company history that we got negative, bad reports about us, and Facebook flagged us and let me know. And I'm like, well, crap, that wasn't our intent. So then when I wake up in the morning, there's a whole bunch of good comments and bad comments on that alert, and I found that the kids had been found, so I just completely deleted that and took it down, okay? So that's yesterday's Amber Alert. Today's Amber Alert, we get another one that just comes across right now. It's the police calling us directly on our phone, and it's rattling off the information, and I'm scrambling. I'm trying to write as quickly as I can, and then it's over. And you can't hit 1 to replay the message. It wasn't that at all. So I tried again. When we get information like that, we have a tendency to share it faster than other news organizations are going to do. So I went ahead and I put it up, and immediately someone who views the network went and took the text that they had gotten from the Akron Police Department, which I probably should have done in the first place, maybe looked on their site, and they popped it in there. But that's what 330 to go is. We are a collective. I've said this. I can't. Sorry. I just had wings from Yours Pizza in Akron, and it's wonderful, and you would know exactly why if you knew what had gone on for the last 2 weeks on Next Door. Anyway, we're a collective. We reach out to you, you reach out to us, and back and forth. That's how this works. You guys are our reporters. People bring stuff to me all the time, and we kind of deem whether or not we put it up. And you know, it doesn't have to mean any real criteria. We just want to make sure that it's not bogus, that it's not fake news. You know, people, and the easiest thing for us to do is to monitor traffic, because especially if I give you a breaking news alert that Route 8 is now closed, we can literally go to the resources that we use. We can look at the cameras and we can show you pictures of Route 8 closed. So we're doing the best that we can to give you accurate information as quickly as possible. When we get burned is when we put in our opinion, or if we do it in a snarky way. So we're going to, on our end, because there's a lot of humor and a lot of snark on our team over here. So we're going to work on trying to get it more effectively communicated to you without that. The thing is, we don't want to lose our identity. That's who we are, right? We're going to present things to you in a certain way, okay? There are a ton more cooks in the kitchen this year. We've got our intern who just started last week. Our producer's getting re-engaged again. we're going to be putting out all kinds of new stuff. We got all kinds of new shows that are getting ready to start, right? So there's going to be a lot more people that are posting on the site. It will not just be from Hank. It will be from a whole bunch of different sources. So keep that in mind, that there will be different personalities that are getting that information, all right? So then let's go to today. So last night, there's a big story breaking in West Akron on Whole Foods. And now you can feel free to interject your opinions here, okay? Does the team that runs this news source have day jobs? Scott, of course we all do. We all have day jobs. And this whole thing we've been building for 2 years, and it is slowly but surely becoming an actual real job. You know, we are funded by Patreons like you guys who decide to give us $1 a month so that we can help hopefully buy new equipment. And then we have sponsors as well. In fact, I'll say Paw Meadows right now is one of our active sponsors, Sheena's Platinum Movements, and Custom Spray Lawn Care, and Desert Song Massage Therapy. So those are our active sponsors right now, okay? And Acme Fresh Markets. That's where we broadcast from, and Acme and the Rialto Theater and Royal Air Entertainment are helping us run this big new singing competition. That's the first time we've ever done that, coming up in February. So yes, we all have day jobs, and we all focus on trying to get you the information as quickly as possible, all right? Okay, unfortunately, the Facebook watch party for live videos doesn't work properly. I wanted to participate with neighbors in the 330 Go community, but I have to choose one or the other, so I'm in the 330 Go group. All right, thank you, Tom. All right, there's 2 incidents I want to talk about right now. One is the hotel incident. Actually, 3. Oh, wow, I forgot the other one that we posted earlier this week. There's been 3 big events in Akron in the last 3 days. One was the hotel incident where they arrested a trafficking ring, okay? The second is the fentanyl bust that took place in the Arlington Road area, which 40,000. It was ridiculous what Akron PD seized. And then the third is the incident that took place at Whole Foods last night. All right. So let's do them in that order. So the first was the whole hotel incident. So what we do is we also share other news outlets. So we'll share the Beacon Journal. We will share ABC News, NBC. They share my stuff too. Like there's been several times where I've done a story like the flooding that took place down in the valley. And they will say, hey, can we borrow your footage? Can we use it? Sure, go ahead. And they still have 330 to go on it. And there it is on Channel 3 or whatever. So we shared a post from ABC News Cleveland about a trafficking ring that had been busted in Akron at a hotel. They did not name the hotel. We don't care what the hotel is, okay? It was some guys, 2 men, 5 women were arrested, and they used the words trafficking ring, okay? People got bent out of shape about that headline. Let me explain something to you right now. We have worked very closely with Rahab Ministries and other organizations in Akron this year where we have shown their content and had them on our show, and they have talked about trafficking and what that means. And it is not the definition that you think it is, because a lot of those women that are locked into prostitution are almost to the point of being emotional captives is the words that they use. Captives from a drug standpoint or captives from an emotional standpoint. In other words, they've been so abused, so neglected, or so whatever, emotionally scarred or whatever, that we'll use the word pimp for lack of a better word, their person is their only lifeblood in society to a point where they feel that they're trapped in that lifestyle. I am going to re-air the Rahab episode the moment that I finish this. The moment I finish this, I'm going to re-air the Rahab episode on 330 to go so you can hear Angel and you can hear her story, and she will explain this to you in great detail that I just can't, because she lived that life and has survived that life and now works to bring women out of that life, okay? So when they use a word like trafficking, it is very important that you understand that that is what they are talking about, okay? So take that into account. When we put a headline up or we share an article, that's exactly what we're doing. We are sharing that information about the Akron community to you, okay? The next incident was the drug one, the fentanyl one. Holy crap. We have worked with the Packard Institute with Raynard. We've been to the Oriana House, and we have worked with other organizations as well on our show, and Sage and the homeless situations as well and discuss this opiate crisis at nauseum right now in the city of Akron. So for the bust like that big to have occurred is a big deal. We shared that. And again, these are the kind of things that go on. We are going to share things that may or may not be covered by bigger news outlets, because our focus is on our community, in the Akron and Canton community, and we take a lot of pride in what we do and a lot of pride in our people, not our people that work on team, our people in the community. So the goal is to make Akron a better place, right? That's what we do here, all right? So then last night, everybody was blowing me up, and I'm not kidding. I got messages and texts and all this stuff coming from everybody, from every angle. And it was about, have you heard about what happened at Whole Foods? Have you heard about what happened at Whole Foods? Have you heard about what happened at Whole Foods? And I'm like, yes. We elected last night to not report on it because it was a developing story, which technically I usually will do that. But in this case, I did not, because something just didn't seem right about the way that it was being portrayed, okay? So from that standpoint, we waited until today. Now, today, I put out a statement. Yes, we are aware of the incident that took place yesterday at Whole Foods. We did not report it. I can't remember exactly what words I used, but it's a police matter, and right now we're kind of waiting and seeing and blah, 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 okay? Hey, thank you, Casey, for sharing your information. Where did it go? I just had you. Casey said, my friend's 16-year-old has been missing since December 16th. I pray he wasn't taken by traffickers. Casey, if you want to go ahead and put his name down, if that's okay. I don't know if that's legal or whatever. If you want to put that down, if there's any kind of a link, just pop it in the comments right now, okay? So the point is, we chose not to do that, so then we put a statement out today, and I knew how it was going to go. Okay, we had collected information. We had seen the Facebook posts that had been put up by the lady making the claim. We had seen the post being shared by other people. And then when we decided to share it was when we saw that there was an actual physical police report on this incident. That's when it became a real incident for us, because at that point it was no longer social media viral. Now it's an APD reported event. So that's what we said in what we posted earlier today. You know, this took place last night. This is the post. And then I don't want to say I was stupid enough, but I was naive enough to then post the Akron Police report. And APD reports are public information. So I didn't think anything of it at the time. In our naivety, is that the right word? It had all of the information of the person making the report on the form of the police report, including their home address and their name and everything. So then somebody brought it to my attention and said, how stupid can you be? And use some other terms. And at that point, I was like, okay, well, I guess we can't put that up. So then I immediately deleted that. So we're in this weird situation, right? Because we're trying to share the information with you, and people are saying, well, give us the report, give us the report, give us the report. And then we do it, and then people go, why did you just do that? And it's like we're trying to navigate and figure out what we are. And we're trying to figure out how to get you information and trying to do it in the right way. And more importantly, with that whole situation, today, as the situation developed throughout the evening and throughout the course of the day, the police then came out and they issued a statement. And the statement was that we checked the security cameras. It could not be verified. We checked some other areas too. And the claims you have nothing to worry about is what they said, which then, of course, people were like, what do you mean nothing to worry about? There's all this crime in Akron. They were talking about that specific incident in regards to this. I want to specifically address the tagging of the vehicle with a sleeve on the rear windshield wiper. Here's why. That is a common practice that is done by several car washes in and around the 330. And a couple of them reached out to me today to debunk that whole tagging thing in regards to that. Now, whether or not that is a national thing, I don't know. I will let Rahab, you need to contact Rahab. They know their stuff about this. That is why we use them as a resource, okay? But as far as whether or not that's an actual tag that's used to identify a car, okay, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. What I'm telling you is there are several car washes in the 330 that use those sleeves and put them on the rear windshield wiper in order to run your car through the car wash so that the rear windshield wiper is not damaged. I was specifically told that on the phone today by 2 car washes in the area, okay? So don't be freaking out if you see one of those on the back of the rear windshield wiper. Go pull it off. Just take it off. And you know, I be back to what is my title for this? Stay alert, be safe, work together. If you see somebody that left one on there, take it off. It doesn't belong there, because there's no way, unless someone's protecting themselves from ice, you know how we all flip our windshield wipers up, okay? Chances are they didn't leave it there on purpose because they went through the car wash, they kept going on in life, and they forgot it was back there, okay? So if I'm debunking anything today, it's going to be to not freak out and not panic if you see that on the back of a windshield wiper, all right? That's specifically from some car washes. So that's my PSA for this whole thing. I guess the whole thing's been a PSA. And then the last topic I want to talk about is omit victim information if possible. Angela, they did. That's exactly what they told me. They say, you dummy, pull that report, go ahead and edit it out. And I'm like what Scott said earlier, I ain't got time for that, man. We got day jobs. I'm running social media stuff and DJ businesses and all this other stuff. So our intern's starting, and maybe he has all those skills, and I'll throw that to him in the future, right? But I'm like, you know what? I'm trying to get you guys the information, and the last thing I need is to be chastised for it, okay? Then the last thing I want to talk about is the whole Miller South incident. So Miller South, I'm sure you're aware, they changed resource officers this week. So Mike Williams has been there for 2 or 3 years, and we love Officer Williams, and I get like hit in the head that they're going to do some kind of a rally on Monday to like keep Officer Williams. And then I see all these posts that Officer Williams is being let go. So I pull up and I'm like, hey, Mike, what the hell's going on? I stopped my truck in the parking lot at Miller South to talk to him. He's leaning in the window, and he said he's not being fired. He was being reassigned. So they had made a personnel decision. And I thought about calling him and his wife and getting their statement, but at the end of the day, I didn't want to muddy up that water. So what I did is I called the Akron Superintendent's office directly, and they made a direct statement to me, and they said, we're, very bluntly, we're not here to comment on personnel decisions, but I'll let you know that he is being reassigned and another officer is being brought into his place, and life will go on with the 2 officers in the new buildings. Well, I get up on Next Door Neighbor, and somebody's posting that Officer Williams has been let go and all this other stuff, and I'm going, no, that's not what happened. And I've got the statement up from the superintendent's office, and I confirmed with them that he's keeping his job. He's just going to a different building for whatever reason. And then today we get a letter from Miller South's principal that says, hey, by the way, we made a change. We got a new resource officer at the start of the day. And make sure you welcome him. Say hi. And he loves art. Okay. So my point in all this is the following. How we share information as a society right now is very critical in terms of being fast and efficient, but being truthful. Trying to avoid that whole fake news thought process. If anything you take away from us, the one thing we will always be is 100,000% transparent. That is what we are. We are you. We are people that are working in the community alongside of you, and we are trying to help provide you information. We are trying to share stories of local businesses, and we are trying to just better the Akron and Canton community, for lack of a better term. We are far from perfect, anything but. We're going to mess up a lot. I'm telling you right now, the more stuff that we go to take on, we're going to mess up a lot. So as we mess up, you guys are there to hold us accountable. Hey, just say, hey, dumbass. Don't say that brashly, but hey, do something better. You messed up on this one. Fix this. But for crying out loud, don't report us. If you report me right away, then all it does is set up immediate friction between us, and I'm going to kick you off the page and ban you, which I did to 2 people last night, which I don't want to do. But if you're coming hard at us, We will fix what we messed up on. But yeah, we're just people, man. And we're sharing the word. We are sharing the word. And right now, my words to you are take things seriously, stay alert, be safe, and for crying out loud, work together. Please. That's all. Let's avoid World War III. Work together. That's it. Let me read some of the comments here. My car actually has one on the back windshield. Angela still from the car wash 2 days ago. Yeah, I'd done that before. Scott, just a growing news group to help our community. Kudos to them. Anyone throwing shade should try it. It's not easy. Oh, man, it's hard, Scott. I'll tell you right now. Lisa, but what was the issue with the other vehicles when she stopped at the school? We don't know that, Lisa, and the police investigated that too, and they basically, the way it was worded, it was a misunderstanding. I don't even know what that means, a misunderstanding. You're doing a good job, so thank you, Lisa. From what I read, she may have misunderstood what was happening. She was heightened with fear. Any vehicle moving nearby could have felt threatening. Well said. Thank you, Carol. And they were trolls and should have been banned if they didn't know. It's not even that, Angela. I don't want to use the word trolls. We try to hold ourselves as accountable as possible, but at the same time, we do make mistakes. And the problem is we all have a sense of humor and we all are a little edgy. So like occasionally we'll word things a certain way and like someone will be like, did you really mean it that way? And then we'll try and fix it, right? But I love being ignorant. I love being ignorant. We love sharing information that we don't know anything about. I don't know the rules. I don't know how you run your businesses. I want to learn about it. I want to learn on the job while we're showing the Akron public what it is that you do. That's what we do here. All right? Oh, that was a mouthful. Take a drink. Happy Friday. All right. That's all I got. We get back to show programming tomorrow. We're going to have a show tonight, but I canceled it because of all this stuff. Tomorrow is going to be hysterical. I have no idea what to expect. We're going to be live at the Willow Mystic with Patty. She's going to be doing a live astrological reading on Kate, my wife. And we have no idea what to expect. So until then, I don't know where I'm going. But there ain't no sense of being late. Everybody take care. Have a good night, folks. And everybody join me out there and say good night, Shirley.